My name is Dave Rock, and I'm currently serving as chair of the Johnson County Extension Council, and I'm also an Extension Master Gardener, and I serve on the Ag and Natural Resource Program Development Council. I've served on the Dean's Council for K-State's College of Agriculture for the last several years. And one of the things in the meetings we often talk about is how do we ensure the relevancy of extension going forward? You know, with what the feed, seed, chemical, equipment suppliers are providing in terms of information and consulting to producers, the need for the traditional ag agent and the advising and consulting has changed. Plus, with the internet, there's so much access, easy access to information, and you know, some of it's good and some of it's not researched, or some of it's biased and unbiased, that it's a competitor to extension. And you know, myself, I was raised on a family farm in South Dickinson County, was a 4-H family. Dad used the ag agent for consulting. Mom was involved with Country Social Club and other activities. And so I thought I had a feel for what Extension's mission was, although somewhat dated. When I was asked to join the Johnson County Extension Ag Program Development Council, I thought, sure, this would be a way for me to give back to K-State locally, as well as hopefully have an impact on the role of Extension and put to work some of the things that we talked about on the Dean's Council into action. But I quickly realized that in an urban county like Johnson, we've got different opportunities ways to impact the quality of life of residents here in a very impactful way. You know, we're different in terms of education. 56% of Johnson County residents have a bachelor's degree or higher, while across the state it's only 34%. But that doesn't mean we don't have residents that are in need of fact-based, unbiased, researched information to provide effective solutions. Well, when you think about the differences that are significant, first of all, it's scale. We've got over 613,000 residents in Johnson County, and it's growing. And what that means, think about what that means to the ratio of extension agents or extension personnel to residents. It's much, much greater here. And so how do we reach residents effectively? How do we have an impact? You think about population density. In Johnson County, it's about 1,290 people per square mile, where across the state of Kansas, it's only 36, on average, 36 people per square mile. So again, we need to find different ways to force multiply, leverage, and extend the reach of extension to impact residents here in the county. Well, for the complexity of a county like Johnson County is more significant for extension personnel because we have 17 different cities and towns, so these different jurisdictions have their different objectives and strategies, personnel to work with, multiple parks and rec districts to work with, library systems, 6 different school districts. So it creates a significant opportunity for partnerships, but also the need to work in different ways to be effective with each of these different communities within the county. I think something that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention was just how grateful we are for the engagement and the support of the Johnson County Commissioners and the different departments and staff within the county, because it makes for a great working relationship that's really helping us to achieve our objectives here. In the landscape across the county in an urban environment, we've got diverse populations. And actually Johnson County's percentages per category are very similar to across the state, but within each of those categories, significantly higher numbers of people that we need to reach. So we need to understand cultural differences, find ways to reach those populations and provide the solutions that they need. I think one of the challenges, and we see this in many counties, but I think it's very significant here in Johnson County because of our large population, but that's the rural and urban interface. You think of the number of folks that have found that large property that they're developing for a place to live out of the city, the families that are purchasing properties for rural recreation, family compounds, as well as and many of these folks don't have a background in agriculture or in land care. And so that creates a different set of needs to support them. As well as when you think about our schools, we have over 93,000 students, K through 12. What a significant opportunity for our 4-H programs. And so those are some of the things that we have to take into account. Also, this movement towards local food production and sourcing. So where does that fit in? How do we work with producers as well as consumers? Again, bringing fact-based, unbiased research information to them to help them make good choices. And certainly along the way, we continue to have commercial vegetable and ag operations to support too. There's a saying that comes to mind, and that is, you are what you eat. And so when we think about the role of that Extension can play in an urban food system, you know, so many of us don't have, we're 2, 3, 4, 5 generations off the farm. And so as the discussions about organic versus non-organic, GMOs versus GMO, food deserts, I mean, there's a multitude of factors that are at play within the food system. And I think especially in an urban environment where with higher incomes, where a lot of decisions are made, food decisions are made with discretionary income, that Extension has a significant role that we can play in terms of education, assist, you know, those that want to produce their own food, to assisting them with good information for good practices for gardening, those that want to develop their own commercial agriculture enterprises, small specialty farms, what we can do there, the work with food pantries, and the work that, you know, just I think you look at any chain, any piece within the chain of the urban food system, and Extension can have an impact there. And even more broadly beyond, you know, where food's directly tied to it, but the affordability and the ability to manage incomes, small incomes, to get the most out of what families have through what we can do with the training that we provide there. The elderly that with our SHIC and the folks that are with low incomes with our VITA to assist them with income tax preparation, you know, and the thousands of dollars that we assist them to bring back in tax refunds. I mean, it's, you know, again, back to what I said earlier, we are what we eat, and what we can afford to eat is determined, it all fits together. And so I think that, you know, it's hard to separate what Extension does and what quality of life means. So I think in following my comments, you're going to hear from the agents as they talk about the partnerships that they've created and how they are critical success factors in them delivering on their programs. But I think in addition to partnerships, volunteers are also critical. And that's one of the great things about Johnson County with the folks we have and the engagement. We have over 1,000 active volunteers working, whether it's Extension Master Gardeners, Master Naturalists, Master Food Volunteers, working with VITA to help tax preparing, and I know I'm leaving some out, but there's a bunch. And so over 1,000 are trained and managed, and those folks contribute over 50,000 hours of their time, and that equates to about $1.25 million in value, economic value that they bring to help improve the quality of life here in Johnson County. I know for myself, I was blessed to be able to retire early, and we all are looking for ways to give back. And Johnson County is such a great place to live that to have a chance to help contribute to the improvement of quality of life here by serving on Extension, the Extension Council, it's a great opportunity. And Tara tells me it's been 3 years or 4 years. It doesn't seem like that, because it's just been a great opportunity and a great team to work with. And I thank you for being with us here and listening to what myself and the agents have to share.
My name's Susie Mize. I'm a volunteer with the Volunteer Income Tax Site Assistance Program, known as VITA, which was created by IRS in 1971 to assist low to moderate income families in preparing their income taxes. In 2008, El Centro had a site in Wyandotte County that was very successful. So in 2009, a member of their board, Jim Graham, who was also my brother, opened a site in Olathe in 2009. It was in a small church on the square in Olathe. They had 3 volunteers and they did 77 tax returns. The next year, Valerie Edwards came on board as a fax agent for Johnson County K-State Extension, and her mentor in Shawnee County encouraged her to become involved with VITA. So she got certified and volunteered in 2010, and while there realized how Johnson County Extension could help our program and our community with giving us a better location, as well as marketing efforts. So in 2011, the site moved to the Sunset Office building, where we still are, and through the advertising in the lobby, as well as social media, Best Times, and other magazines, we now have over 30 volunteers that are very dedicated and serve more than 1,200 families every year. I volunteered since 2011 and am currently the site coordinator. The sincere appreciation of our clients and the privilege that I have to work with the dedicated volunteers that we have make me aware that offered me the opportunity to give back to my home community in ways I never knew were available. Through the volunteer position, I've learned about the working of the Johnson County Extension, and am honored to serve on a PEDC and also on the state board, not state board, also on the board of directors. Without the initial efforts of Jim and Val and the continued support of El Centro and Johnson County Extension, VITA would not exist in Johnson County, and I would not have realized how fulfilling it is to volunteer.
Hi, my name is Nadia Smith. I'm currently a WIC dietitian nutritionist at the health department, and I work also for the prenatal clinic. So the goal of the WIC program is to help pregnant women, breastfeeding women, new moms, and children under the age of 5 stay healthy and be healthy. And I feel like the WIC Community Garden has helped us in that goal. We know kids, small children eat more fruits and vegetables when they help grow and harvest in a garden and when they help prepare it in the home kitchen. So the cost of fresh fruits and vegetables, which has increased recently, that's eliminated because all the produce is free. The barrier of the taste factor is eliminated because everything in the garden is harvested at the prime ripeness and freshness. So like tomatoes and strawberries from the grocery store do not compare to strawberries freshly harvested from the garden. One of the main highlights for me has been seeing young children and toddlers trying new fruits and vegetables, and also seeing pregnant women eating these fresh organic fruits and vegetables, knowing that their unborn baby is also getting nutrients from those fresh fruits. So we're literally nourishing our next generation. I am sure some families in Johnson County are eating more fresh fruits and vegetables because of this WIC community garden. So thank you to all of those who contribute to this garden year after year in any way they can.
I'm Matt Garrett, field biologist with the Johnson County Park and Recreation District. I partner with the Johnson County Extension Office by working closely with master naturalists. They really amplify a lot of the work we do across the Park District. I was one of the original partners, so when the program took off in Johnson County, I got to see those initial applications and got to be in that first group of professionals that helped bring that first class up. I would say partnering with JCPRD and the Master Naturalist program through the Extension really allows us to get more work done. We do not have enough staff to monitor 400 plus bluebird houses or get out and do as many different volunteer activities on the weekends that many of the master naturalists can provide. And so that workforce, whether it's education or doing natural resource management, it really just expands the work that the Park District is able to do. I think the major impact of having master naturalist volunteers working alongside Park District staff is that it ties the community to these large regional parks that we have. And many of the master naturalists live and work in a community where they can spread the knowledge that they've gained by working with us and bringing that back to the community. And when we do outreach and we build new master plans and things like that, the master naturalists are really deeply involved in kind of connecting the Park District to the community. I think one of the biggest exciting changes or growth periods we've seen in the program is how the Bluebird program has really expanded. It went from just a few folks that were doing it and created the program to recently the Extension Master Naturalists created an app and organized and really took the Bluebird program into the 21st century and did some really neat digital improvements to the program with 360 cameras and being able to take data in a way that we didn't think was possible. So that was a really neat change in the program. I think maybe another different part of it is getting folks out and seeing things in the parks that we don't always see after hours, having other eyes in the park to look for invasive plants and to look for vandalism or different aspects of things that maybe after hours or on the weekends that our staff don't see. Having multiple sets of trained eyes that have got professional experience through the program allows us to have lots of different folks out in the field that are just observing, making sure people are safe, and that our parks are great places that people can enjoy. It's very exciting to see the program growing and a big interest in it, and more classes stacking together. Before I worked in Kansas, I worked in Missouri and got to see the Missouri program grow. So I'm really excited to see the energy, and I'm excited as we build year after year of classes to have this kind of core of dedicated conservation volunteers to work across the community and maybe take on some bigger projects that we haven't been able to do because we've had to build the depth of the program. So I'm excited to see more master naturalists and then envisioning new projects that they could take on, whether it be interpretation or working in natural areas, just having a larger base of folks to work together on things. So it's neat to see the overall group kind of grow.
Hey, my name is Virgil Miles, and my title is I'm the superintendent at Deanna Rose Farmstead. The history of Deanna Rose and the Master Gardeners partnership goes back about 40 years here at the farmstead. It's been a tremendous partnership for them to be able to reach out to the community and make them aware of what they do. And for us, the farmstead benefits greatly because of all the expertise and the gardens and all the beds and things that they bring to the farmstead. We get so many comments from the visitors about the Master Gardeners area that they take care of down there, and they are just super impressed with the quality of the plants, the presentations, and the knowledge that is passed on to them. Well, we tremendously appreciate what the Master Gardeners do for the farmstead. They take care of a large part of our garden beds. They present them very well. They're meticulously cared for and presented. And actually, if we look back, we would probably have to hire 2 full-time people to replace all the volunteer hours that the Master Gardeners give to the farmstead. I would like to thank the Master Gardeners program for being at the farmstead. It's a tremendous asset to the community and to the farmstead. I know they are a very energetic and enthusiastic volunteer group that comes to the farmstead. We work with many volunteer groups, and the Master Gardeners are at the top of the list as far as being preferred to work with. So, like I said, they show up like a SWAT team. They come through here every Tuesday morning, do their thing. They're all having a good time, working with each other, and then you look up and they're gone, and they just leave a beautiful garden behind them.
So my name is Tim Wolf. I am the director for the Department of Aging and Human Services with Johnson County.
And I'm Carol Kolner. I'm the Deputy Director of the Area Agency on Aging for Johnson County.
So the partnership with K-State Extension and Aging and Human Services has been going on for the past few months. We started our first partnership in June of this year. I look at it kind of in 2 facets. The first facet would be that it really benefits our community residents because it gives them an outlet to explore new things that they maybe have not done, and it deals with that social isolation piece. It's also benefited our staff tremendously in that they are able to, use this partnership and know that we can do new ideas and new avenues of projects. I think it's a great partnership. I think just the ability to be creative and come up with new ideas that we can just figure out together is a huge benefit for all of us.
Yes, we had meetings where we talked about what we thought we wanted to do, and then with everybody putting their heads together, we could come up with maybe different ways of doing it.
Yeah, and I love it too that after each class, your volunteers that are doing the classes for us are like, okay, what's next? What about this idea? I've been thinking about that. And so it's just a fun way that we can try new things. Each class that we do has had a different highlight. You think about the microwave class that we did initially. It was teaching our senior residents ways to use a microwave that maybe they didn't think of before. And how to cook an entire meal. When we do our second class, which is the toaster bag class, I think many of our residents didn't even know that there was such a thing as a toaster bag. And so you think that's a huge highlight of opening the doors to things that they didn't know about before. I think it gives them an opportunity to learn new recipes, and they still want to be able to cook and provide meals for themselves, but maybe haven't felt comfortable, and this gives them the avenue to do that.
Hi, I'm Stacy Winkler, and I just retired from the Shawnee Mission School District after teaching for 32 years. I just wanted to say thank you so much to the K-State Extension Office, and specifically Nancy Carr, for all that she did to help me through this whole experience. I have done the chicken embryology program many times, probably every year. And then I also have done the honeybee program and the butterfly program. And I think there might have even been one about trees too. It made that experience powerful for the kids. At my retirement party, I can't tell you how many students from 10, 15 years ago were saying, I remember having those chickens. They were even telling me the names that they had named the chickens. And how this meant something to them. It was something that those students remembered year after year after year, and now some of them, are in their 30s now, even though I had them in second grade, are like so excited to learn about what this was about and how that made an impression on them. Some of the things that we did was not only just name the chickens and watch them hatch, but the kids took turns and they were able to help with the process, and they felt ownership in it. They love the hands-on sense of seeing the magic of birth and of life. My students call Nancy the chicken lady because every year when she comes in, she's wearing this really cute applique, chicken themed sweater that is just so darn cute. And then when she came up with the butterfly, she had a butterfly one on. And so even her clothes, based on what she was doing, helped make the whole thing real. She was Miss Frizzle showing up and being the magic school bus with all of these things in her repertoire that just connected and just made those lifetime connections for these kids. And I just can't thank the K-State Extension Office for these wonderful programs that you provide because it certainly made a difference. It really did.